Reaction now from New York City Council Minority Whip Joe Borelli. Joe, are we not looking at the numbers in context?
No, we certainly are. And in fact, I would even say AOC is right. We shouldn't be looking at this hysterically. We should be looking at this from a data perspective. And the data, as you pointed out earlier, indicates a horrific rise in crimes. And most of those crimes are happening not in Times Square. When they happen in Times Square, they make headlines. When they happen in neighborhoods where AOC lives and where she represents, they don't always grab the front pages. But those are the people that are genuinely afraid to leave their homes. We want tourists to come back, but we have to remember so many New Yorkers are afraid of their own neighborhoods now because of people like AOC and the policies she pushed.
It's really true, and I live here, and I've experienced it. I've been a victim of crime throughout during the pandemic, and in the wake of it. It's really a sad thing. And when everybody says to me, "Oh, the city's open, it's back for business, everything's going to be great," I say, no, it's not. The tourists are not going to come. People aren't going to want to come back here and pay the exorbitant prices to live here and the taxes, et cetera, if they don't feel safe.
No, it's going to be a long-term problem. I mean, the mayor is right to try to encourage people to come back to the city, and he's right to flood the zone in Times Square with cops. But people aren't going to come back to work. People aren't going to come back to visit. People aren't going to spend, discretionary dollars at high-end Manhattan restaurants if they don't feel safe walking around the city of New York. But just to piggyback on what the mayor said, I mean, flooding the zone is what we'd love to happen on every street corner in New York City when violence happens. But the defund the police budget he signed last year.
I was just going to say, exactly to your point, how do you flood the zone if you're defunding the police at the same time?
It's the great irony. I mean, Bill de Blasio himself signed a budget defunding the police, and you have to resort to basic police tactics in reducing crime. We've always had a problem with guns. We've always had a problem with gangs in New York City. The difference is we did things like end our anti-crime team who used to go after people like this. Well, we closed the courts for the duration of the pandemic. The guy who was arrested for the last Times Square shooting, the shooting with 2 children, was on an open arraignment. He was waiting for a court date. So all this criminal justice reform that the Democrats have given us has resulted in a pandemic in New York City of crime. And they're to blame. They own it.
And also you're seeing a lot of crime underground. The subway system is so important as an artery here for people to be able to travel around, to come back to work, for example. And people are scared to go down there. They're scared of being pushed. They're scared of being attacked or stabbed. And there is supposed to be police presence on the subway right now, but that still hasn't deterred the crime.
No, and again, the mayor is doing what he can only do and put more police down there. But every cop that gets reassigned to a transit division, every cop that gets reassigned to flooding the zone in Times Square means one less cop in a more crime-prone neighborhood where people are unsafe. And people like AOC should take a hint. 60% of voters in the Democratic primary voted for one of the candidates, Garcia, Yang, and Adams, who had a more rational approach to policing than some of the space cadet policies like Maya Wiley and others.
Right. And so by flooding the zone, essentially what he's doing is moving the chess pieces around on the board, but they're not actually adding more money to beef up the system. They're taking money away from it.
Correct. We've had one police academy class, I think, in the past 18 months, and it's not enough to keep up with retirement. We're down about 2,000 cops before our pre-pandemic levels. And that's where we need to be to really begin addressing the problem. Of course, the broader criminal justice problems will still be here as long as issues like bail reform remain unresolved.
Joe Borelli, great to see you. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.